business to go to another level. You must try to learn and hear something new. So make the change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Testing Results, yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Tony Harris Taylor. Testing Results, oh yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Yeah.
Welcome to the Marketing Strategies for Drastic Results show. My name is Tony Harris Taylor. They call me the networking queen. I am the CEO and founder of Drastic Results Marketing and Sales Coaching, where I help entrepreneurs and franchise professionals get known, get connected so they can get paid. I know that's right. I'm also the multi-unit franchisee with Network in Action. Network in Action brings business owners together to build relationships so that we can intentionally open doors for one another to help our businesses to grow. Welcome to today's show. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics with my guest, Megan Simmons of Network Lead Exchange. That favorite topic for marketing success is collaboration. Now, when you meet Megan, you're going to learn that she and I are in very similar businesses. We both are networking in the networking franchise space. And on the surface, we definitely look like competition. But there's so much to be said about collaboration. Now, for me personally, I just don't believe in competition. I don't. I believe that there's enough business out in the world for all of us. I also believe that if there was really competition, there'd be one hamburger stand, one pizza joint, one of each thing. So there's no such thing as competition. What makes you different is what is key. I never sell against competition because everybody has their own value. And what's for me is for me. So I was introduced to Megan by one of their franchisees, and I was like, I just want to connect with her. Well, when I tell you it was a instant connection, we had the same philosophy behind helping each other to grow and ultimately helping business owners to grow. We had the synergy. Of course, I don't meet a stranger, and neither does she, but we had the synergy right away. And now we're going to be attending a conference together. Come on now. So a lot of times you're missing your blessings. You're blocking your blessings because you are having a scarcity mindset versus an abundance mindset. And so when we come back, we're going to have a deep conversation with my guest about scarcity versus abundance, about competition versus collaboration. And it's going to be a really, really great show. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with my guest, Megan Simmons.
Are you a franchisor grappling with how to stimulate your franchisees' growth and revenue? Are the phrases, "I'm not comfortable networking," "I'm an introvert"? Enter Tony Harris Taylor, your answer to these challenges. With her expert guidance and program, you can empower your franchisees to conquer networking and community outreach. Tony's program is designed to equip your franchisees with the skills and confidence to show up to the right events with the right people. It goes beyond making connections. It's about nurturing and leveraging these relationships. It's about following up, collaborating, and generating leads and referrals to maximize conversions. And ultimately, increased revenue for your franchisees and for you, the franchisor. Are you ready to unlock this potential? Reach out to us at 832-479-2088. Let's embark on this journey of growth and success together.
Welcome, Megan. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for thinking about having me, Tony.
Oh, well, of course. So in your own words, introduce yourself.
Great. My name is Megan Simmons. I am the Vice President of Network Lead Exchange, and we specialize in developing professional networking groups that thrive all over the nation.
Yeah. So a franchisee of yours introduced us, and she said, you need to meet Megan. Y'all just have so much synergy. And she said, do you mind the introduction? Because y'all are in the same business. I'm like, girl, please, you already know I don't mind. And so you heard my monologue at the beginning about collaboration. And I just want to say thank you for having an abundance mindset as well. So let's talk about that collaboration versus competition. What's your take on that?
It's a great question. I'm right there with you, Tony. I believe that we're really limiting ourselves if we're not connecting with people that have the same inspiration and idea and skill sets. I don't know one time that I've met someone in the same industry of mine that I haven't learned something, that I haven't been able to identify with them. They understand the market. I mean, Tony, you and I could have talked for hours after our first conversation. We probably can give each other feedback on how to help our clients. I mean, it's just, there's a certain kind of identity that industry that we understand and that we're passionate about that you won't get when you're talking to other people. So I agree with you. I believe it only presents the idea of growth, strategic brainstorming, and growth for yourself and for that person. So I honestly don't just think that it's positive and I don't think you should avoid it, but I do it on purpose. I want to have that small group of people that I believe are in the same industry as myself, and I value what they're doing. And
Absolutely.
That is something I'm very intentional about.
You know, they're industry organizations, and they all, like, I used to be the president of Women in Insurance and Financial Services. And so these were all women who were doing the same things, but came together to learn from one another. But somehow sometimes it gets muddy for people. For instance, and I'm just going to be transparent and put it out there, I got kicked out of BNI in my local market. Kicked out of BNI, never come back to BNI again in the local market. Why? Because they saw competition. The franchisee there was like, she's going to take my clients. That's because I'm fabulous. And he probably did feel that way. But I would never do that. And, you know, we're a monthly networking group. Somebody else might like weekly. I could have referred him business, right? We are more expensive up front. So anyone who wanted a lesser investment, I could have referred him business. But instead, he saw competition and has missed out on referrals from me. That's too bad, because we could have helped each other to win. Because ultimately, Megan, our goal is to help other business owners to grow. And if that's your intent, your real goal, people wouldn't be scarce. So I am so grateful that we got connected. So tell me how you got to Network Lead Exchange.
It's a great question. I actually was getting burned out on networking. I don't know if anyone listening can identify. I'll be real with you too. I was exhausted. It was pre-COVID. And I love people. love it, but I was tired. I was so tired. And before I got into business networking, working out on your business, I was a trainer. And people were getting burned out on diets and their weight loss programs. I'm like, why are all these people getting burned out? Why am I exhausted? And am I really getting the results? Why am I going to these? Am I just going to collect business cards? And so it just really got me interested in networking. What makes it work? What is everyone's intention here? What does that look like after and in between the networking groups? So honestly, Tony, I loved it. And I also saw a lot of people doing it differently and a lot of people just getting burned out from it. And so I just started my journey of understanding networking, understanding relationships, and really what is foundational to that and how do we set ourselves apart in these mass networking options that we have now. I mean, think about it. It's in person, it's virtual, it's monthly, it's daily, it's weekly, it's free, it's exclusive, it's open to everybody. I mean, it's just everywhere. So,
exactly.
I really just decided that I really wanted to learn what worked, why it worked. And I found Network Lead Exchange because I wanted to open my own networking group and I liked their overall platform of what they provided. And that's why I went with that. But overall, I was just looking to start my own networking group because I really learned a lot through my journey and I wanted to be able to teach other people to be more strategic and be really happy with what they're doing in networking for themselves.
Now, you're an executive as well with Network Lead Exchange. So how did you transition from the networking group to being an executive to their corporate office?
Networking. So I started.
Well,
I know, right? Like it's always about who you know, and it's always conversation. Guys, I don't know about you, but I have never applied for a job. I mean, if you asked me for a resume, I'd have to take a minute and update it. I just recently did that because someone thought it would be a good idea to update that just to always have it. But it's always been about I've met someone and we were talking and they were looking for a role and I just would have been a good fit. And we already had a base of trust because we started talking and building a relationship, right? So that's how it came with Network Lead Exchange. I'm known as Megan, the Idea Maniac. I have a million ideas. I'm a visionary for sure.
You and I both, yes.
Yes. And don't you love it? It's just like it's our canvas. Right? We're painting these different images and these opportunities. So with Network Lead Exchange, the president at the time, him and I just really connected. And so our conversation naturally, very quickly went beyond, Megan, you've got such a big mindset of this. Can you help other people start networking groups and help them because you understand it so much? And Tony, just like she said, guys, you and I are so much alike. We love to teach.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And so they said, we need someone to teach this. So I was offered the opportunity and just naturally, progressively grew as while the company was growing, I grew along with it. And
so that's amazing. And people always ask me, Tony, how did you networking is always the answer. So you never have to ask the question, how did I meet that person? How did I get on this stage? It's always networking, a referral. Someone liked me. They opened the door for me, which Megan, you have already started doing for me as well. You invited me to come to World Expo in July. I've already bought my tickets. I'm excited about that. She could have kept that to herself. I want y'all to hear this. I'm with a competitor franchise. They have a conglomerate and they have a conference coming up in Nashville. She said, you should be my guest. That's if more of us did that in the entrepreneurial world, really, really, really did it and embraced, we wouldn't struggle so much. But everybody's got, this is my ball. This is my ball. You can't play with my ball. And that is time out for that in this global world that we live in. So when we come back, Megan, we're going to talk about 2 questions that I ask every guest. And I can't wait to hear your answers. We'll be right back after this message. Okay, we are back with my guest, Megan Simmons, VP at Network Lead Exchange. Okay, so the first question is an obvious one, but how has networking helped your business to grow? Your life, actually. Let's make it about life because we know we already talked about business. So, how has networking changed your life?
Mm. I, so many ways. I would say if I had to give one answer to that, it would definitely be the fruitfulness of nurturing those relationships.
Yeah.
100%. I would say there's a priceless value to supporting other people and investing in those relationships. We all, if you have a garden and you start to nourish it and you invest in it and you take good care of it, it's going to produce great fruit over and over again. And it has produced so many good fruits in my life. And for outside of business example, even just simply my wedding. I got married about 7 months ago. I got remarried.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And learned the first time I don't really want to spend $20,000. I'd rather spend it on a house for one night. That's just me, not for everybody, but that's how my husband and I were thinking of it. And I'm telling you guys, I wanted my wedding to support every business owner that I know that I'm good friends with, number one. And number two, they hooked me up, and I did not expect that at all. But it was at my friend's, like her business spot, and her event space was beautiful, and the catering was wonderful, and down to the photos and everything were all trickled with my friends and my businesses and the people that I've had, and I couldn't have done it without them. They showed up. And they were happy to be there for me. And I was so happy to support them. And it was beautiful. And that's definitely life, right? They're there for me through thick and thin when I need a new roof, when I need my teeth done, when I need a wedding, everything.
I love it. I love it. That's the key too, because a lot of times when you are networking, you think it's for business and it ends up being for life. And you get your best friends from there because we don't have coworkers like corporate workers do. And so those networking buddies become family when you do it the right way. Now, I didn't intend to do this, and I'm really good about putting people on the hot seat. So please just play along with me. But we're two of the best networking experts I know. So I'm thinking, let's do a little bit of what's your best networking tip? You do one, I do one. Well, let's do a couple of rounds of that, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. So I'll start. The best networking tip, and let's talk about franchises since we both are in the franchise space. So best networking tip for franchisees, number one, show up. It is not up to your franchisor to bring you business. You got to go and be in the room where things are happening, whether it's virtual or in person, but stop waiting on the franchisor to bring you business. You got to show up for your own success. Megan, what's your tip?
Well put. Well put. That definitely, for sure. You can't rely on them. They want to see you, your face. My number one networking tip would be interested, not interesting. You need to be interested. You have to talk to them, care for them. You don't have to be interesting. That's what people will remember when they leave that networking group. They might have talked to 100 people. Why is the conversation with you, that 2-minute, going to stand out? Because you were interested in them.
Awesome tip. Awesome tip. Okay, another tip. When you show up, stand out. Stand out. Stop blending in with everybody else. We're in a super casual world. People say to me, your glasses, your jewelry. You can't see this piece. Let me, your jewelry, your glasses, whatever. Be different. Stand out. Don't blend in with everybody else. And sometimes the way to stand out is just your energy and personality.
Mm.
Which
We have, Tony, you and I naturally have this energy. People talk about it. We bring it in, all these things. I've asked some of my franchisees, what is it that people say they love about you? Why, when they host a networking event, they want you there? Why is that? For me, it is the energy. And for me, I'm the connector. I'm the one that's there. I'm connecting people. I'm introducing this person to this person, and I'm introducing this person to this person, and that stands out for people, and that's natural for me. But I want to give a tip to anyone that's networking that's a little bit introverted. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't network. So some of this stuff comes naturally. For Tony and I, maybe we're better at thinking about questions. Maybe you struggle with asking some of those questions. But a lot of it is people really just want to know your story. They really want to know why or a story. They don't really need to know a pitch about what you do. Those conversations are for later. Keep in mind that these deep conversations should be in those follow-ups after the event. So
Yes.
really what you want to do, even if you're an introverted person, is make sure that you're going around and you're listening, you're explaining why you're doing what you're doing, not exactly what you're doing, and spend a lot of time with what your skill set is. If you're a great listener, maximize on that, because that will stand out just as much as Tony and I's energy. So I want you to feel confident in what you are really good at, and the result can still be the same, because the real big mishap, I think, is in the follow-up. I think a lot of people miss out on the follow-up portion of that.
Yeah. And my last tip is don't follow up. Book appointments on the spot. Don't be trying to chase people down after the event, collecting cards, talking about we gonna get together, and you're not. So just do it while you're there. Open your calendar on your phone. I tell people all the time, my calendar goes into forever. So I don't care that you have a project or that you're going on vacation a month from now, still suffices. Just get it on the calendar. So yay, Megan. Thank you for playing my impromptu game. So here's the last question for our interview. And that is, what's the biggest drastic step you've ever taken in life or business?
That is a loaded question, isn't it? So for time-wise, I'll try to be quick about this. Thinking about it, I used to struggle with weight my whole life. And after I had my son, I got to my heaviest. I was about 300 pounds. And my health was really drastic. And I was really nervous for my health and for my son, and how am I going to do this? And so I started showing up to the gym. And I was showing up every day. And one lady, Sherry Clark, she reached out to me, and she was bold enough, and she said, look, I see you in here. You're committed. You're showing up. But why don't you show up in my class? You're never going to get results sitting here, just over here on the elliptical every day. It's going to take you forever. Go show up to my spin class. I'm thinking, there is no way I'm going in there. Can you imagine, guys, if you've ever even been in a networking situation or a business situation where you feel that you are not good enough to be in that crowd? People were like fitness. They were killing it in there. And I was like, I am going to pass out is what's going to happen in this spin class. And she said, everyone's worried about themselves. They're in there to work out on themselves. Go in there. And it was the best thing I ever did, because I got through that class and I surrounded myself with people I wanted to be like. And I followed in with that for everything. If I want to be like those people, I'm going to put myself with those people, even if I'm not at that place yet, because it's a very humbling space when you go in there, and you don't need to be super confident, other than the fact that you're willing to learn and surround yourself with those people, and you're willing to be vulnerable, and you don't always need to be the best. You just need to surround yourself with people you really look up to. And so I've continued that my whole journey. I've lost over 200 pounds. I've kept it off for almost 10 years.
Wow.
And I surround myself intentionally with people that I want to be like, that are positive, that are optimistic, that are learning, that are coachable. Because if I'm not around those people, then I notice that it makes a drastic change for me. So be bold. At that moment, I really risked myself, and I'm really glad I did, because it taught me a lot about myself and my health, but just in life in general.
I love that. The drastic step is to be around people you want to be like without being intimidated. And know that those people are learning from you too. We all have something to learn from each other. So I love that, Megan. Thanks for sharing that story. Well, tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
I believe that you're going to be sharing my contact information. There you go. Please follow me on LinkedIn. We have a lot of fun virtual networking opportunities. That'd be a really great way. I host one once a month called NLX Connections. And that's great opportunity to meet people nationwide. If you're looking for that type of networking experience, find me on LinkedIn. And I always love the opportunity to expand my network. So you're welcome to email me or get a hold of me that way as well.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to come pop into your networking experience, so as I know it's an experience. Well, thank you so much, Megan, for your time. This really touched my heart because I really want people to understand there's no competition. There's only collaboration. And if you release that competition mindset, your business will flourish. So thank you again, and I'll see you in July. I'm excited.
You will, Tony.
Awesome. We'll be right back with my final thoughts. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Show Up, Be Up, Follow Up to Blow Up at showuptoblowup.com. Make sure you join my Facebook community, the sixfigurenetwork.com. Wasn't that a powerful conversation? First of all, we gave you some golden networking tips, but also the fact that we're both networking franchisees and we could see nothing but the opportunity to help each other. That's if more entrepreneurs had that mindset and practice it, more entrepreneurs would be successful through their connections, collaborations, and network. So I want you to meditate on that and think about who does the exact same thing you do that you could reach out to, schedule a one-to-one, and see how you all can help each other grow. That person, that prospect that might not have been a right fit for you could be a right fit for them, and vice versa. And then we all win. So meditate on that and implement that strategy. It's drastic, but do it. I'm excited to hear the feedback from this strategy. This is Tony Harris Taylor saying, take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow, and we'll see you next week. Bye.